everything is to play for in round 4. Everything is to play for. You know, it's gonna be tougher conditions here. We are on pin set 4, back tees, very high, very fast, and I kind of hate that they're doing this to us. It's as difficult as it gets. It's as difficult as it gets, plain and simple. We're gonna try our best. 10 under, I think, is a reasonable number in these conditions. Maybe I'm selling myself a little bit short because some of these very high winds like this are going to give us quite a bit of tailwind and gonna give us quite a bit of distance. But this is where it's pretty big time, and I do think here that we just put ourselves into the bunker. Oh, that's as lucky as it gets. I've used up all of my luck for the round right here, right now. I don't know what we're even gonna do with this, but you know, we're gonna try and concoct something that probably involves bouncing here, using this, and feeding hopefully back around. Because I don't think if I try and run it where we like land it in here, bounce and roll, I think we're gonna be too deep. I think. I mean, because I don't think I can come in here with anything less than a 7 iron. Like, realistically speaking, I don't think we can come in here with anything less than a 7 iron. So I'm just going to go straight at it. I'm going to go straight at it. It's going to add a lot of distance, so I'm going to have to take a lot of distance off. We're going to try and just put it right in the heart of this little bowl back here. Gonna need quite the shot. That seems like it's pretty good. Maybe took a little bit too much off of it, so the kick's gonna be huge. Come on, backstop. Bring it back a little bit. Don't park yourself up there. I gave you full spin. Okay. Okay, so we're able to find the punch bowl. 12 foot for eagle on the first is definitely a position that we would like to be in. Now the hard part here is definitely just the fact that it's faster greens. So we're putting a bit of faith into how much this is gonna break. So a couple of things happen there. One, broke way more. Second, rolled way more. So gonna have to keep those in mind. We give up an eagle chance on the first, kind of learning how these greens are going to react. Hopefully we can take that information with us the rest of the way. Now I don't know that there's gonna be a good way to somehow sit up here, probably bounce it out of this and do something. I don't know. We're just kind of throwing it at it and get ourselves somewhere close by. Preferably where it's going to drift towards that left-hand side. It's a little bit slow. Wind is not bringing us quite as much, but hopefully it feeds left. Downhill. Oh, man. Also, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it. G Money, thank you for being here. Thank you for the follow. Oh man. This is not necessarily where you want to be. Very firm, very fast, on like a sharp downhill lie, short-sided. I mean, this is gonna be a bleeder. This is gonna be a bleeder. Kind of throwing it out to the left here, and then it's just gotta hope that everything else is dialed up. It's low, but I just need it to stop. Yeah, that's... These 186s, they're gonna be so tough. Like, so tough. Okay, so I made a slight adjustment from what we learned on that first putt. Still almost went low side with it, so I think that there was actually more so okay on our putt read. It's more so I have to judge my distance a lot better. You need a little bit more going up the hill, and you need a lot less going down the hill. Very firm, very fast is just a very unforgiving. Just put a very in front of every expletive, every adjective that you would use through the course of a round with all very high, very firm, very fast conditions. I think that's probably a proper reaction to things. It's like, I can't reach the gap wedge, right? Like, there's no shot at reaching the gap wedge. It's gotta land in here, and then I'm just kind of guessing at how big the kick and roll is gonna be. So I think what we're going to need is to play this way outside. You're expecting the big bounce right to left. And then from that point, I mean, it's pretty much, can we play this with full backspin? Because I feel like that's how almost everything is going to need to be played at this point. And a little bit of loft. That's the shot I have in mind. We'll see how it actually goes. Little bit slow. Oh, this is going to be far enough right that we take a big bounce off of the fairway. We really, even though the greens are very firm, the very firm between green and fairway are quite different. So there's just a bit more oomph on the fairway. So we can get some of these to land on the green. That's gonna do a lot for us. All right. 186 is down the hill. What a nightmare this is gonna be, trying to get the pacing right. Did we give it enough to get to the hole? Oh, we did! Oh, we did. And not just to the hole, but right on in the hole. All right. Tough conditions, but we're 3 under through 3. Can't ask for, you can't ask for much better than that. I mean, you can. You know, just given the conditions, like, you can ask for that. Should I? Probably not. So we're going to go 3 for 3 as very good. Huge fade. Absolutely monster fade deep into the fairway. Trying to put ourselves down into pitch territory because I think with very firms and all the things that we've talked about at wit's end through 3.5 holes already. I know I'm probably annoying some people. But being able to have a shot that we can get a lot of spin on, I think is going to be very important for us. So I'm gonna say uphill, Pillai. The wind's gonna take it back out. The hop, and then we need the hop and handbrakes. All right, Lai's gonna take it left, but I have to think with this much wind, even in a short amount of time, wind is bringing it. Oh, we got a raid coming in just in time for the pitch shot? Jake, what's going on? Thank you very much for the raid, Jake. How was the stream? Welcome on in, everybody. Little bit of a push, but I think the distance control is going to be spot on here. That it is. Okay, so wind played a lot, and we pushed out that way. It's going to make things tougher on the putt here, but definitely pleased with how we read that. Distance control right on the money. Well, let's sink this putt. We didn't even have to move that. Me making that adjustment at the end, almost putting ourselves outside the cup. But that's 4 for 4. That's exactly the kind of round that we are in desperate need of here for this tournament. All right, let's see where this bunker is at. Front edge of the bunker, 330, pretty much to get out of there. I don't think we can. It's a long splash then if we go for it. I think if the wind is just tailing enough, but very firm and very fast, I don't think we're ever sitting it down. So I think we have to find a place to put this ball that we can get it up here with a lot of spin. So if we play it short of the bunker, that's like a gap wedge pitch shot. Something that we should probably be able to put the brakes on. I'm going to play 4-iron. It pains me. It really does. I know that if we try with the firmness and everything, I think we've got to play 4-iron here. Play it fairly safe. It's a good shot. Just hope we don't get any sort of crazy bad kick here, which that's perfect. Hey, GG, Doctor. Making up for earlier? I take it. All right, so we have a little bit of room to work, but we do need the brakes on. And we don't want it to get too far here. So the two options are going to be a slightly not so lofted lob wedge. Like this is 94 yards, 90, probably 91, 92. The bounce and then the spin. I think I'm gonna do this. I think we're gonna play the lob wedge with a lot of loft on it. Should hopefully just clear enough. And then have enough bite. That's the right stroke. Great line. Bounce and bite. Oh, I love that. That's such a good shot. Still some work left to get the bird on it, but to get it in that tight window there, make sure you have enough to not roll to that back section. Absolutely huge stuff. Absolutely huge stuff. All right, a little bit more power than maybe we would normally play. As it is up the hill. Big time putt. All right, so this is how people shoot 18 under in these rounds, huh? You just birdie everything. You just birdie absolutely everything, and then you run into a brick wall on a 688-yard par 5. All right, so birdie on this hole is certainly much more of a stretch. It's definitely doable, but this is going to be one of those ones where we get to the green in 3 and then have to dial up a perfect approach shot into a birdie putt. Next hole is nice and friendly, Stan. Yeah, this is... If this is the next hole, or if you're, is 7 the next... You know, are you talking about 7 is nice? Because this one, definitely not nice. I have 186 yards uphill into, like, almost a 20-mile-an-hour headwind as my third shot. Wow. Okay. So 4-iron, like, if we lose 30 yards, that's 188. We're losing definitely more than that. So I think 4-iron is the play. Can't really play it to the right, because, I mean, everything you play to the right feeds too hard to the right, but if you play it left, nothing feeds back to the hole. So, yeah, that's, like, great. It's also an uphill lie, so it's going to play into the wind more. Driver 3-wood hybrid, and that's definitely a possibility. It's certainly not out of the question. 233, 228, take off another 30. Another, yeah, another like 32 yards maybe, something like that. So that's 96 uphill. Hybrid might be just long, but thinking about it, I think that 4-iron is going to be too short, so I'm going to play this with just a little loft and spin. I pushed it. Come back down. Kick backwards. Roll onto the green. Ah, no, we're going to get stuck. I'm in between clubs there. Because that's a 239 club, and we're 8 yards past. If I take 20 yards off of that, I can't really expect the 4-iron to roll that much. So I think this has to be... Yeah, I needed a little bit more loft on that. What I didn't want to do is play too much loft in it and absolutely balloon the flight too much. I think I was more so concerned about that side of things. All right, I'm gonna need this hill to... I'm gonna need this hill to do work. Maybe not that much work. Okay. All right. I mean, this hole I think was always kind of the pipe dream on the pipe dream in terms of getting a bird. That's a nasty par 5. That's a nasty par 5. But yeah, I think 4-iron just doesn't do the trick. Now here with the wind, it's gonna be a question: can you carry this? That's 350. Which it's downhill, not nearly enough. As much as I would love to be able to just put this into a pitch shot, I don't think I trust my distance and accuracy enough. So I'm gonna have to lay this back and take a longer club to the front portion of the green, I think. It's so tempting. Like, I do think that there's some merit to trying to pull off like a massive driver shot there. I really do think there's some merit to it, but I also realize how that more than likely is going to go. Okay, so I think something like that. Wind here is what concerns me. A little bit fast, but so much wind. It should bring it back. Didn't take enough off of it. We're going to go over the hill and have a downhill putt. That sucks. That sucks. We're just off. Really good read on how that wind and lie are going to take us, and just sending it too deep. Okay, so let's say we were gonna hit it here. Maybe here on like our normal pace. So tough to gauge. So tough to gauge. Honestly, I know we're 7 feet past the hole. It's really not that bad, all things considered. Just getting that putt started far enough out to the right. I feel like when it's downhill that much, it's always so hard to get the aim right. All right, well, we started really well, so there's definitely more gas in the tank. I think we're going to be able to still find some scores down the stretch. We're just going to have to battle through these middle holes for a little bit here. You know, try and work out some of this stuff. Great attempt for sure. Thanks, Wizard. How are we doing today? Welcome back. All right, so uphill to probably about 180. Maybe a little bit shorter than that. Pretty substantial wind, but it's also off from the side. All right, I think we just have to throw this way out to the right because that's where most of the green is. Pretty good strike. Man, even then we're still on the left-hand side, so coming down a bit short. Good line to the hole if we had the distance right. But I was not expecting to lose that much distance, but I think my mistake is just it's very high winds, so not accounting quite enough. Not accounting quite enough on that. Doesn't feel like it's doing too much movement at the end. Oh, come on now. Get back on the scoring. Get back on the scoring. Good stuff. Okay. This is not a friendly... This is not a friendly par 3. Holy cow. I'm gonna say easily like 30 yards lost on this carry. So let's just put it right now at 208. That's short. The question becomes then with the hybrid, can we get onto the green with that? And I honestly don't know that we can. Making you not want to play rounds 3 and 4. Yeah, Lucas, they go high winds, firm, fast, and then very high winds, very firm, very fast. So it's just like as the tournament presses on, it just gets a bit meaner and a bit meaner and a bit meaner. So I can probably carry it a little bit past the hole with the 3-wood. There's two options. It's like overpower this hybrid or shape the 3-wood. Somehow shaping the 3-wood just seems like the nicer option to me. But it's such, at this distance with this wind, it's such a narrow target. So this is like, just try and get par. You know, I pulled it, so... We carried it to the hole. We got a green in regulation, and that's all I can ask for. 32 feet, sure, give it to me. At this point, like... At this point, it's whatever. I don't know what's gonna happen with this putt. Because the hard part with this putt is... It's such a long putt. And I feel like so much of the break ends up being not happening. So, like... I'm gonna go somewhere in here. But this is just like a shot in the dark putt. Just get it close, get the par, go home. I don't know how we're that far past, though. Up the hill, and I still managed to hit it 7 foot past the hole. So that's definitely a bit off. Big 2 putt. The par 5, I felt like I had a chance to maybe make something happen to give ourselves a birdie chance, but yeah, I think those 2 holes at least, walking away with par, completely okay. I'm gonna play a pretty big draw here just to take some of the distance off. Is this drivable? No. It's not. It's 415 yards. There's not enough elevation change going on to bring it into drivable range. I think that second hole, has pretty much been just drivable every round. The very high winds haven't quite, like the higher winds haven't quite been in the right spots to make some of the stuff drivable. All right, come on. Big flop shot. A little bit slow. It's gonna take the bounce, a little bit of release. So distance control. No, you gotta sit though. Oh my goodness. We were this close to being off the back of the green. I thought we hit a great shot, even though it was slow and off to the side a little bit. I thought we hit a great shot, and then all of a sudden, the game is starting to have second thoughts. Get in there. Get in there. Making some scores on the turn. I know that being able to convert on these flops and pitches and everything is big time. I'm gonna give it some loft and backspin to help the carry. Just try and run it out towards like the end of this fairway. But hopefully riding it on the right-hand side enough that we don't just kick hard left into the rough here. No, that's exactly how you draw it up. Get the ball out to 400 yards, leave ourselves with another pitch shot. I think left is okay, because with this kind of green speed, everything is essentially just feeding back over to the right. Now, the only thing that I kind of get bit by here is this pitch shot doesn't quite go enough. It's very firm. I do wonder, like, could we full backspin this lob wedge? It's going to carry us out, like, to the low 90s, but I think wind is too long. But I wonder if we were to take it out into here, I think it would have enough distance. Bounce, bite, and then all of this rolls there. So we're actually just going to take this in a way that we backspin and roll in this punch bowl. Like, this should hop forward, but then have the bite to come back and just kind of feed right. If it goes too far back here, it should kind of roll back down towards the hole. Okay, so that's all about just getting it to a spot and letting the green do the rest of the work for us. Now, we're not rewarded by any means with a simple putt, as this one kind of is doing a little bit of double bend type stuff. Gonna snap straight out to the side and then that's big though. It's a big putt. You're sitting on that tilt. You know that it's gonna want to shoot left, but have to trust that everything else is gonna hold it, bring it back right. Short par 3. It's there's a big question. There's a big question that comes on this. How much is the wind gonna play? Because I gotta put brakes on it. And kind of hope that the wind knocks it down enough that those brakes are in the right spot. That's fast and out to the left, but it's on a line. Okay. Bite. Oh, too much bite. Colby put too much bite. Sit. Okay, we're on. Scary, though. Very scary. I guess it's a little bit more uphill than I anticipated, so... I mean, realistically, probably should be looking at that a little bit closer. This first part doesn't break all that much. Kind of breaks more behind, though. Okay. We have to get it started outside enough. Have enough pace. Didn't have enough pace. That was the missing link. It just died past the hole. Okay. I'll take it. It's a good read. It's a good read. Can't be too mad about that. The only thing I can be mad about here is if we get a bad bounce. But I think there should be enough right to left hill for it to just feed. I mean, I'm basically with these wins trying to give ourselves as many of these pitch shots as we can. Now, I think with this one, I think there's enough going on that it's a downhill slope and there's the wind and the firm, so I think if we give this a fair amount of the backspin, it'll take the hop and then put the brakes on and kind of situate itself. All right, come on, nice and steady on the pitch. The pitch has been an interesting tempo for us. Getting the swing plane and the tempos not in the best of spots today for the pitch shot. But let's maybe make this one instead. Kind of flat through the first bits, but then it turns here, which means that probably need to read this backwards from the hole. Because if we're aimed out here now, that's going to change potentially how some of this stuff plays. Maybe not. Is it really playing all that flat and then just turning at the end? I guess it is. I guess it is. Trust what you see. Trust what you see. Put another birdie on the card. All right. It's a long par 4. So hopefully this very firm... Yeah, we're going to be on this upslope. 350 yards, 174 in. So we've got ourselves in a decent spot. Hey, what's going on, Kendall? How have you been? Thank you. We're on like a very steep uphill lie. Wind's going to carry us a little bit. But I think that we're probably somewhere in between the 9 and the 8 iron. I think we're definitely somewhere in between the two of these. I think with the 9, maybe if we de-loft it, give ourselves a little bit extra distance, but also get us off of this hill, bouncing, rolling back towards the back part of the green. Feel like that's gonna, I don't know, you can, there's definitely an argument to be made here. Definitely an argument to be made here for this, this lofted 8-iron, which I think is what I'm actually gonna try. Okay, so that wind did end up carrying it. That's okay. It was a risk that I knew going into it. We are getting a little bit of feedback off of this hill. I don't think it's going to bring us down too much. That wind is kind of teetering, so it's hard, because the lie is going to take you back into the wind, which is going to make it not play quite as much. That there ends up playing a little bit more. Downhiller. There's not a lot going on. There's really not a lot going on. But it's still probably just enough break to make things... Woo! Just enough break to make things troublesome. But we're able to sink it. Okay. Big stuff here. So through what? 14 holes, we are now at 10 under. So we've done what we've needed to do. 10 under is what we set out to do. Now we're still hungry. We're still hungry for more. 4 holes to go. I'm gonna see what we can make of it. Fighting it out tooth and nail here in the final round. This very difficult setup. Okay, 270, 60. All right. I'm gonna try and go for something maybe a little more precarious. We're gonna try and overpower this driver. 104 on the money. Oh, it's too much to the right. Oh man, but if this lands, if this stays up here somehow, it's gonna release. Okay. Honestly, not the worst. Not the worst. We could have maybe been a little bit more left, but that's like, that was it in terms of, you know, the overpower and distance and everything that we needed there. Could have maybe rolled something on the green if we get that in the right spot. All right, so pretty substantial uphill lie. Okay. Big shot right here. Fight. Beautiful. Absolute money. Absolute money. Probably should have looked at that because that clearly broke quite a bit in that short amount of time. All right, a few more here. Let's get into the 50s. Let's do it. I was hoping, if I'm being completely honest, you know, obviously was hoping to just, you know, after the first rounds were 14s, was hoping to play better and put 14s on the board the rest of the way out. Maybe get to like 56, somewhere in that ballpark. But I think it's completely reasonable at this point in time to chase after that 50 spot. All right, this 8-iron is a little bit long, I think. So if I give it a little loft, I'm just going to give it a little loft. I'm not going to worry about the spin. It's enough wind. Just something to get it landing by the hole, hop and stop. All right. Didn't need the loft. Didn't need the loft. Maybe the wind's a little bit more, or, you know, didn't get the best lie percentage, what have you. That's okay. Now we've just got a tough putt. Tough putt for us to deal with here. Ah. Okay. You have the feeling sometimes that maybe it's just not quite enough. I tried to give it a little bit of a bump, but we've been bit too many times, so I was trying to put some faith into myself, trust it. Ended up being a slightly wrong call, but you know, sometimes that's just how it's gonna be. Okay, now here, wind-wise, I think that this 4-iron is gonna put us short. And I don't know how much rollout we're gonna get. We should get a little bit. It's on a little bit of a diagonal, so I'm gonna try and capitalize on that. 102 and fast, that should help. That's going to give us probably an extra 4 or 5 yards. Get the release. Oh. Woo-wee. What a time to pull that shot out. What a time to pull that shot out. Birdie on the long par 3 into the wind for 50 under on the tournament. 1 to play. Yeah, definitely was the right call to utilize that. The wind going a little bit diagonal there. Wings, if you do exclamation points, you can see how many points you've got, and then you want to pair that up with heist and the number of points that you want to gamble. It's a 50-50 shot to double or nothing. All right, one last hole. It's downhill. Not the best lie. We're on the slight downhill. Wind's playing in just a touch. I don't want to get myself into trouble too much as far as, like, not losing enough distance on this. I'm going to put just a touch of loft on it. Come on. Hold it out for 52. Why not? It's not a hole out, but it's pretty good. It is pretty good. All right, what a way to finish. I'm very proud of that. 10 under, you know, we didn't play our best in round 3, missed some opportunities. Bringing it home, though, 13 under in very tough conditions. And as you can see, a lot closer. I mean, I'm in the way here, but a lot closer to some of the top guys. So that is one heck of a way to finish a tournament off. Very proud of it. We'll see what we can do next week. Next week, YouTube will be normal rollout times. Stream, though, is going to be Tuesday, Wednesday. So just a heads up for you guys. YouTube should see nothing different next week. Stream days will just be a little bit offset. But heck of a tournament. Looking forward to the next one.